Is this the way you show prep, homie? Because it's like
writing the notes?
Well, yeah, because it's very un-Zoomer of you. And like you're kind of a Zoomer king. And the notion that the way you show prep is hand to paper pad, it's kind of retro.
Oh, I'm printing this out.
No, you're not. You're actually conducting a show off of
Yo.
the written word, which is a throwback.
You want to hear another one?
Let it roll.
Would you say this podcast is at least the second time you've met with a 17-year-old?
Well, probably since I've been 17. Look, man, I don't...
Or 35. Count it on that.
No, that's not my scene. Listen, here's what you got to know. When you accumulate a little bit of power and you use it to challenge other power centers, they fuck with you. They do everything they can to delegitimize you and discredit you, and I've endured that. But here's the thing. No one's ever made that allegation against me in a court of law. And you know why?
I didn't make that. I didn't make any. I'm just asking a question.
We're just chilling on a podcast.
I don't want to get sued.
Yeah, but you know what? If anybody did make that allegation in a court of law, I would have subpoena power. I could cross-examine witnesses, and it would be exposed for the fraud that it was.
Oh, I was just asking, is there a legal case going on or some accusation here?
No, listen, man, the House Ethics Committee didn't like the fact that I was trying to change Congress. I was trying to get stock trading out of Congress. I fired the House Speaker, which is...
Some might have said, I heard that you did that because he wouldn't shut down that whole case.
Listen, man, I'd been investigated by the Justice Department, the FBI. I'd been investigated by everybody on the planet Earth, and no one could bring a case against me. And so they didn't like my politics. They didn't like the fact that at times...
Wasn't he also a Republican?
Sure, but by the way... That is how you know I was actually real when I served in Congress, because I didn't just call out the other side, I called out my own side, and there's plenty of corruption on both sides.
That's what happened. You said, even if you're a Republican, if you don't take down that thing that they said about me, I'm going to get rid of you.
No, that's not what I said. What I said is if you don't stop trading stocks, if you don't stop spending our country into debt, if you don't stop with the endless surrender and failure theater that we had seen in Washington, then I'm going to try to find a different way to do things in this town. And so because I did that, and look, you know why? I'm the only motherfucker up there who didn't take the lobbyist money and the PAC money. Every other Republican up there took money from the lobbyists and took money from the political action committees. And I didn't, and they did, and I was a threat to that system, and so they had to get rid of me.
So that's why they said that happened? That whole thing?
Absolutely.
Well, let's fist bump on that, and then you did it.
I did not do it, but...
Well, you just fist bumped on that.
Well, I fist bumped on the fact that I was falsely accused, Matan.
Of what? I don't know if you were accused of anything. I was just asking a random question.
Sounds random. I like the show prep.
Yes. I was just doing some research. How much do corporations typically pay congressmen to pass laws that they like?
I would say to get your bill before a committee, it's typically about $100,000.
$100,000.
To get it to the floor is $750,000, and to really have the presiding officers lower their shoulder and get it through, $5 million and up.
But who do you donate the money to?
The political. So it's knowing where to donate the money to is actually something you pay people to teach you. But for any particular piece of legislation, there is a reference path. You're going to go to the Armed Services Committee on military things, the Judiciary Committee on legal things, the Environmental Committee on environmental things. So you got to pay off those people along the way. And then if you really want the job done, rather than just failure theater, you have to pay off the House Speaker, the Majority Leader.
Wouldn't some people get suspicious because you're paying different parties?
No, but it's legal. It's actually, oh, by the way, no one even questions that because everybody does it. And that was my main criticism is...
That's why they brought up that whole thing.
I actually thought it would fucking matter if the Republicans or the Democrats won the election because I thought the policies would be different. What I learned over time is that both sides at the highest levels are working for the same special interests that are paying to get their tax exemptions, their particular business model embraced by an element of government.
Do you have your own wing girl like Ghislaine Maxwell?
My wing girl's my wife, Ginger. You met her as we rolled in.
No, I'm talking about for like a couple of years back.
No.
She was the one Venmoing the girls.
Well, I don't know anything about that. What I know is...
No, nothing.
Nothing about that.
Oh, nothing.
My scene is as a happily married guy. And what I tell you as an unmarried guy is Marriage is tremendous. And a lot of young men your age need to know it. When you marry someone, you level up in life. You break through an element of happiness and existence that is pretty spectacular. So I recommend it highly.
That's a good way to get off of that question. So, but you didn't? Because now I know you're married, but how long have you been married for?
I've been married going on 4 years, man.
Oh, I'm talking like 10 years back.
Well, listen, I lived the full arc of life as a single man. I make no apologies for it.
I don't blame you.
When I was a single guy, I did everything I could to be a kind, generous, gentle person to everyone I spent time with. And you know what, man? You know who you can't interview on this podcast?
Who's that?
Anybody who's ever talking shit about me in public. Anybody who's ever fucking dated me will not come on your show and talk shit about me. You
Why
know
is
why?
that?
I was nice to all of them. You know what I was accused of? Spending money on chicks I was dating, which I actually think doesn't make me a bad guy. I think that made me a good guy.
Oh, I never said it made you a bad guy. I was just
there are
asking.
other people who do. There are other people who do.
Yeah, I was just.
But by the way, you take the derogatory reference when you want to bring up a Ghislaine Maxwell.
Well, I was just asking if you had somebody dealing with it.
Yeah, I never met that person. I don't know anything about that model. You know what the model I know is? When you and all young men out there should see this. When you date someone as a man, buy them dinner. Open the door to their car. Open the door.
Pay them
the
for
restaurant.
sex.
No, listen, man. Not the game that was my game. That's some people's game.
I never said there was
mine.
anything bad about it if you did it, which you might have.
No, I definitely didn't. And by the way, if I had Matan, listen, I was the biggest thorn in the side to the Biden administration. I fucked with these guys every day. I fucked with these guys every day. If I had done what you just said, they would have had me under the jail. They would have absolutely crucified me. What is going on back here?
I don't know. I think you're starting to see things. First it started with that thing under your table, and now something's going on back here.
Man, I don't know what kind of weird cult following you generate here, but it's got some pretty interesting characters to it.
It's a fan of mine.
Yeah, you got a lot of them.
Yeah.